Shalom. Welcome to the Jewish Task Force, JTF. My name is Chaim Ben Pesach. Before we get to our subject, which is how the news media has made it clear that they will not allow any real questioning of Barack Hussein Obama. We saw the backlash after the ABC debate. We're going to discuss how the media officially is warning reporters, don't you dare ask any real questions of Barack Hussein Obama about his past. Before we get to that, QPTV people can see the times we're on the air in the evening. That's our evening schedule. And those people who watch QPTV, you can see the times we're on the air during the day. And this is our great forum, which we urge everybody to join. The group is JewsAgainstObama.com. You go to, that's our website. You can get to our forum from there. And again, you don't have to be Jewish to join Jews Against Obama. Most of our members are not Jewish. All decent people are welcome to join. There was a debate on ABC national television between Barack Hussein Obama and Hillary Clinton about a week after, or a few days after this program is being recorded. A few days before, rather, this program that this program is being recorded. And Charles Gibson and George Stephanopoulos from ABC News, basically for the first time in the campaign, for the first time in almost 2 years, finally were posing tough questions to Barack Hussein Obama about his past. I mean, they have posed tough questions to all the other candidates. And finally, Barack Hussein Obama was getting tough questions about the fact that he has a racist and anti-Semitic pastor that he says is his spiritual mentor, that he's been a member of a racist anti-Semitic church for 20 years, whose official church philosophy, as we quoted on another video that we did this week, the official church philosophy calls for the extermination of the whole white race. This they didn't even ask him about. They didn't ask him about that on this particular debate, but they asked him questions about his past, about the racists and the anti-Semites that he's associated with, and about some of the terrible things in his past. And the backlash from the news media against Charles Gibson and George Stephanopoulos from ABC, the backlash was unbelievable. The New York Times, the Washington Post, the Boston Globe, Newsweek, Time, all of them coming out with scathing, hysterical editorials and articles and reviews saying, how dare Charles Gibson and George Stephanopoulos bring up these subjects. I mean, these are people who smear regularly anyone who does not agree with their left-wing agenda, all of these news media Bolsheviks. But the minute anyone asks honest, legitimate questions, and I thought the questions were actually too soft on Barack Hussein Obama. He really would have had, if I were questioning him, he would have had an impossible time. He never would have been able to dig his way out of it. If I had a chance to question him for 30 minutes, that would be the end of his candidacy. But even though the questions weren't even the really tough questions that he deserves to get, still, the fact that they were asking him anything about his evil associations in the past, this created a truly hysterical backlash from the media. And the media made it clear to Stephanopoulos and Gibson, the two ABC reporters, that if you do this, your career as a journalist is going to be threatened. That we in the journalistic community, what they call the journalistic community, which is really just a bunch of Bolshevik propagandists who hate America, hate Israel, hate Jews, hate Christians, hate white people, even though they themselves are mostly white, they're self-hating whites. The ones that are Jewish are self-hating Jews. They basically were telling Gibson and Stephanopoulos and anyone else who dares to throw any real question at Barack Hussein Obama that if you dare ask him questions with facts about his past and demand that he answer them and ask, how does he explain this past? If you dare do that again, you are endangering your journalistic career. This will not be tolerated. We're not going to allow it. They used all types of names and called the reporters all types of names for asking the questions. I mean, it was unbelievable. These are the same reporters. These are the same reporters who day and night bash America. And I don't like George Bush. I can't stand George Bush. But the things that they report against Bush and the attacks they make on Bush and the attacks they make on the Republicans and the attacks they make on conservatives, it's just unbelievable. That anything goes against conservatives, against Republicans, against people they don't like, anything goes. Against Israel and against Jews. Constant bashing of Israel. The media is so anti-Israel, so viciously anti-Semitic and anti-Israel, that is perfectly acceptable. That In fact, you're required to be anti-Israel to have a position in the media. If you're not an anti-Semite or a self-hating Jew and you're not against Israel, you will have no position in the media. You must constantly say that the Arab Muslim Nazis that want to destroy tiny Israel are right, and little Israel fighting to defend herself against a Holocaust surrounded by Muslim maniacs that want to push the Jews into the sea, tiny little Israel is wrong for trying to defend herself. That's what you have to say. The 66 gigantic Muslim countries that surround this tiny one little Jewish state are right in wanting to destroy the one Jewish state. If not, you're not going to get anywhere in the Bolshevik news media. But if you dare ask Barack Hussein Obama any serious questions about his past, if you dare to question, if you dare to bring up facts about his past, about his association with communist terrorists, about his association with Muslims and Arabs and other terrorists and enemies of the United States, you dare bring up any of this stuff. And they only brought up, by the way, they didn't even scratch the surface. They just started to bring up just a few points here and there about his past. They didn't even begin to bring up, a really serious portion of this unbelievable history of anti-American, anti-white, anti-Semitic hatred that is the essence of Barack Hussein Obama's real story and his real inner being. They didn't even begin to touch upon what the real issues are. And yet, just by slightly moving in to these sensitive subjects that Obama doesn't want anybody to speak about, there was a truly hysterical backlash. And you know what's also interesting about this? It's not only shows you that the media are a bunch of liars and that nothing they say you can believe. Everything the so-called reporting they do is all brainwashing, it's all propaganda. Nothing they've been telling you is true. But not just that. There's another interesting point here that has to be brought up. All the Republicans and conservatives and other people said all along when JTF and the Kahanists brought up Obama's racist history and anti-Semitic history, you remember what they said? They said, don't bring that up. Everybody was saying, don't bring that up. It's going to backfire. It's no good. You don't bring that up. That type of thing is just going to hurt. Don't bring that up. You can talk about him being a liberal and taxes. He's not a liberal. He's a racist and an anti-Semite and a hater of America. That's not a liberal. But the Republicans and the conservatives said, no, just call him a liberal. Don't bring up all this other stuff. That's what they originally said. Now they're seeing that bringing up this other stuff is indeed what will damage him. It's the only thing that will damage and defeat him. And it will do. And this, if they run against this record, they will defeat him. If they really run it, if they have the guts to run against this, I doubt that they do. But if they have the guts to run against it, they'll defeat him decisively. Who are the only people who told you from the start that this is what we should be bringing up against Barack Hussein Obama? Jews against Obama, the people you're seeing, the people you're watching on this video, we are the only ones who said from the beginning, when John McCain said, don't mention anything about this, don't even bring it up, oh, no, you've got to respect Senator Obama. He's a very respectable and honorable, patriotic American. This is what Senator McCain was saying. And the Republicans were saying the same thing. And they immediately condemned anybody who suggested that that Obama's a Muslim, that Obama's an anti-Semite, that Obama has racist associations. Immediately, oh, no, that we can't bring up. They immediately backed off right away. This is what they were telling us for a year and a half. Now they see from their polling data, from their focus groups, that JTF, the Jewish Task Force, which has put together Jews against Obama, that we were right. Now, of course, most of these people didn't even know about JTF, but I'm just saying, we were saying what they're discovering now. We could have told you this a year and a half ago, what they're just discovering now. We were ahead of our time on this and on all the other issues. If you want to be with the people who know what should be used in order to defeat the Bolsheviks and the enemies of America, Israel, and Western civilization, if you want to be with the people who know what has to be used against them and what gives us the only shot for winning in this battle, if you want to be with those people, then you want to be with us. We are where the action is against Obama and against the Bolsheviks destroying America, Israel, and Western civilization. Join with us and find out just how much we are where the action is. See you on our forum. Shalom.